Hey, once again, everyone, it is the Friday evening version of Weather for Weather Geeks. We'll go through this pretty fast this evening with a very quiet weather pattern unfolding not only here locally but across a lot of the U.S. But we are going to focus more on next week when things get a little more interesting, and we'll talk a little bit about the longer range as well in this video. Another great time lapse to show you this evening. This is from our transmitter tower once again on the south side of Youngstown, showing the crystal clear sunset. This is a rare treat for this time of the year. We're still in meteorological winter. It's still a pretty cloudy time of the year. A nice, absolutely clear view of the horizon at this time of the year is really nice. And we had a great sunset yesterday. We'll have more great sunsets over the weekend. We've reached the day we've been talking about where the weather is just crazy quiet across the U.S. This evening. A couple of showers trying to sneak into parts of Arizona and New Mexico. Southern California is going to get some rain late today and tonight. Maybe there's a sprinkle in far south Florida, but that's it. I mean, wow, what a map for February. Again, this is a little more like the kind of map we see sometimes in mid to late September or early October. With the crystal clear sky, it was a good day to check out the low orbiting satellite picture today. Now, when this was taken, there still were a few residual clouds over Lake Erie. A couple of other features here. You know, it's hard to tell, but this is some thin, very tenuous ice on the western side of Lake Erie. This is nothing you would want to walk out on, that's for sure. But it's very, very thin, tenuous ice. There's a little bit on the far north shore of Lake Erie as well, but, you know, the pickings are pretty slim. There's a little bit of ice visible on Pymatuning Reservoir. Maybe a little thin ice on Mosquito Lake, especially the north side of the lake. And then you see this. This is actually still some snow on the ground in the primary snowbelt. It's easy to find the primary snowbelt on this satellite picture. Here's Cleveland right here, and this is eastern Cuyahoga, parts of Lake County, northern Geauga County, Ashtabula County, and then heading over into northwestern PA as well. That snow gets down to about 322 in some parts of Crawford County, heading over into parts of Ashtabula County, but you know, there's not much more than dirty snow piles and parking lots here and there across our area. Generally, it's pretty bare ground at this point. It was one of those days today, you know, we're into late February, the sun's getting higher in the sky, and I have a black car. My car was sitting out in the sun midday. When I got in that car to come to work today, I had to roll all the windows down. It was warm in there. Air temperature outside was like 33 degrees, but it was legit warm in my car with that increasingly strong sun here in late February. All right, the star of the evening show remains Venus here in late winter. Venus will be in the sky this evening until 9:30. That's the very bright object in the western sky. That is the planet Venus. A few other planets are visible, but they're all real late at night. Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Venus has the evening all to itself until about 9:30. Very, very thin moon, almost a new moon. The new moon is technically tomorrow night. So there's very little moon out there tonight. So a little stargazing is going to be in order over the next few days. If you have a telescope you've been itching to use all winter, bundle up and check out Venus over the next couple of evenings. Nothing to talk about this weekend, that is for sure. I mean, it is just going to be an absolutely beautiful weekend. It'd be nice if it were 75 degrees, but hey, we'll take 40s tomorrow and 50 or so on Sunday. Here's our next weather maker coming our way on Monday. Showers, this has been slower and slower on the models over the last couple of days, so it looks like a lot of these are going to try to hold off until the afternoon. Let's focus on next week. Boy, take advantage of the weekend weather because we're not going to see much sunshine next week. Here come the clouds and showers on Monday. More showers here and there into Tuesday, and then this is Wednesday. Still a few more showers. We're still on the warm side of things on Wednesday. But notice, yeah, pretty good snow event probably will unfold during midweek in Chicago, Milwaukee, Green Bay, over towards Grand Rapids. We are going to miss out on what we call the synoptic snow with this. There's no snowstorm getting set to impact our area, but what we will see is Arctic air returning, and of course the lakes are wide open. So I'll have no trouble seeing snow showers and flurries, I think, throughout the area here on Thursday. This might lead to some localized accumulations here and there in the traditionally favored areas the farther north you go. So that's Thursday, and then next Friday, a week from today, probably still some leftover flurries, some chilly winds, legit winter weather for a few days at the end of next week. I do think that, though, you know, as we head into March, you know, we've been talking about how March is going to start out on a chilly note, and this really now is really starting to look like the very beginning of March. I mean, like March 1st. It's still pretty cold outside. But notice the warm anomalies are sneaking back into the picture here on Sunday, the 1st of March. And I do think these will probably start coming south and east. So, boy, this cold snap at the end of next week, the model trends over the last day or two have definitely been for it to exit the playing field faster and faster and be replaced by mild conditions for early March. What I'm showing you here is a graph showing what we call the East Pacific Oscillation, the EPO. This is something we keep a close eye on. When this goes negative, especially significantly negative, you can get dumps of colder air coming out of the northern territories of Canada, the Northwest Territories, coming down east of the Rockies and impacting us. And, you know, this dips briefly negative associated with next week's cold snap. But, you know, a few days ago, this was showing more of a dip like this. And now, boy, it wants to go back positive, it looks like, for a handful of days at the end of the month and into early March. That's the European model. The GFS is singing a similar hymn here, keeping it mostly positive after that little dip through the first few days of March. It has a little more of a pronounced dip possible towards the end of that first week of March. But I'll tell you, you know, the coldest weather compared to average coming up in the next 10 days will be right at the very end of February, the first day of March. Then it looks like after that things will moderate. And what the rest of March holds, I think it's going to be a back and forth month. I talked about last evening how I suspect it'll end up closer to average temperature-wise than meteorological winter, but certainly we're going to have some mild weather at times during the month of March. That'll do it for me tonight and this week. I'll see you back here for a Monday evening edition of the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast video. In the meantime, have a great weekend.